What's up, everybody? This is Ming Chen from E50's Comic Book Men. You're listening to the Galactic Driftwood Podcast. I make podcasts. I help other people make podcasts. I listen to podcasts. I don't care about any of them except for the Galactic Driftwood Podcast. I love them. Come geek out with them every week. I love you guys.
Welcome, sentient beings from all known universes and beyond. It's time to activate your cranial downlinks and prepare to receive a raft of discussion on a cosmic ocean of science fiction and fantasy topics, interviews with local area genre devotees, and insightful prognostication by our soothsayers of science fiction, our forecasters of fantasy, and any other beings that happen to get caught in our gravity well. This is the Galactic Driftwood Podcast.
Welcome to Galactic Driftwood Podcast. I'm Bill.
I'm Jenna.
I'm John.
Charles.
I'm John.
I'm Seth.
I'm Linda.
And we have some special guests with us today. And I'll let Jenna take over and introduce our new friends.
So we're super excited here at Galactic Driftwood to bring in Ming Chen and Mike Zapcic of the Comic Book Men. That's what they're most widely known for. It ran from 2012 to 2018. It had a total of 7 seasons and 96 episodes. In 2017, these wonderful pair of gentlemen decided to get out and support fellow podcasters by opening their own studios to help support us and educate us. And you can check more about what they're doing and what that's about at ashareduniverse.com.
Welcome.
That was
Yay!
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for the warm welcome, Galactic Driftwood. This is a huge honor. And me and Mike just thank you. We feel the nerdiness in the room already.
It's amazing.
That's awesome.
That is
now,
what we are about.
Now,
So actually,
go ahead.
Ming, I met you a few years ago at Planet Comic Con in Kansas City when Stan Lee was there. And I think I might have given you a Me Too moment because I asked you for a hug and then I picked you up actually in that bear hug in the Marriott hotel lobby. So I don't know if you remember that or not, but if that was an awkward moment, I'm sorry, but you give great hugs.
I remember that, and it wasn't awkward at all. And you had my permission then, permission now. So from here,
Jenna, Ming doesn't get picked up by too many women, so
I don't get picked up.
It was by the power of my nerddom that I did that.
Your nerddom is strong then, because I ate a lot of Kansas City barbecue that week, and pounds on me. So your nerddom is definitely strong, Jenna.
so something to look forward to the next time you come back to Omaha, because you mentioned that you've been here before.
I have. I was there for Old Comic Con in 2018, which is amazing. Mike, you got to come next time. They have a podcast alley, and they were kind of the ones that sparked in my head. It's like, why doesn't every con have a podcast alley? You came back that week and you're like, we got to get in more cons. Yeah.
And I'm like, how can you possibly get in more cons, man? how would that work? Holy cow.
Yeah. I laugh at Old Comic Con though, because it's nowhere near Omaha. It's in Council Bluffs, Iowa.
That's kind of weird, isn't it?
It's near. It's near. It's not like in Omaha, but it's near Omaha.
It's across the river.
We consider it as part of the metro area.
Yeah. And,
It's East O.
Council Bluffs known for 3 things. 1, Old Comic Con. 2, there's a bar there called the O-Face Bar. And they're one of the only places that they went to at like Bar Rescue, and Bar Rescue just gave up. The Bar Rescue was like, screw it, we're not even. You guys are unfixable. We're leaving. And when I saw that, I was like, I got to see this place. So,
did it live up to your expectations?
It was delightfully awful. Yes. Many. I didn't get robbed. And yeah,
I didn't get robbed.
2 thumbs up. I didn't get robbed.
Yeah,
I love it.
Nebraska. It's not for everyone.
And Ming, what is the second most or the 9th most dangerous city in the world that we went to that con?
That would be That'd be Youngstown, Ohio, my friend.
Youngstown, Ohio. We were there, and I had no idea that it was the 9th most dangerous city in the world. And I'm wandering around outside, and there's literally nobody on the streets. We were going to see Kevin. He was Kevin Smith was doing a Q&A up there, and I'm walking around. I'm like, this is weird. There's literally no traffic on the street, no pedestrians, nothing, and it's up at a college. And I'm like, well, why aren't college kids walking around? I find out that they murder each other. I guess they were on a lunch break or something, and I picked that sweet spot to go, and I'm like, can I get a ride from someone home, please?
Yeah, that's where you want to call an Uber right away.
Yeah, it's dark out here. I'm like, no, I'm not going out after dark.
You just start telling people that you walked alone through the streets of Youngstown, Ohio. You're like the ultimate badass now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't know.
You should have played the lottery that night.
Oh,
I mean, I'm just saying.
I think I did.
You just leave out the part where you didn't know, and then you are a badass.
Yeah, I was wandering around in my leather jacket, my pink leather jacket, Pinky Tuscadero style.
See,
Well, that's
John,
how everyone knew to leave you alone. It's because
I mean, it's
the
like
only
when you
real
walk
men
around
were
with that
pink.
BDE. Yeah.
John,
just-
you might have another guy that's got that lucky bastard curve.
Oh yes, yeah.
He's right at the
Not
peak.
to your. It's a theory we have because everything falls Bill's way. But statistically, I worked it out with math to prove that he's not only real, but actually he's predictable. But there's only one of you. But not to walk through Youngstown with
Sorry,
a
Spider.
jacket. Yeah,
Well,
Gotta be lucky.
Jacket, although that would have been cool.
it would have worked out.
Ultimate and badass.
I probably would have been walking around in a Jedi outfit, so I would have been killed. But yeah, that's my thing for cons. But yeah, pink
Until
leather
they found
jacket.
out your lightsaber was real.
Well, no. Let me put it this way: I once lived in the rather shadier parts of Omaha, and I used to walk around at night in a blue tank top, orange sweatpants, and Cookie Monster slippers, and no one messed with me because they thought I was crazy. Maybe they thought you were actually insane for rolling around in a pink leather jacket.
Yeah, let's go with the pink leather jacket. I'm not going to shake it. No, I'm just going to embrace it.
It was the stilettos,
That's a
actually.
fringe on it. Yeah. Yeah, it was the 8-inch stiletto heels that.
Oh,
We'll
you
just
were
make that one of those
cosplaying,
internet
see.
legends.
Nice.
I mean,
Omaha.
Kansas. What?
Omaha is awesome. That was my point. Thank you.
And key point, if you both do come back, there will be totally home cooking Texas Mexican enchiladas for you. So
Wow.
I am in.
Oh,
I have to tell you about the weirdest place I went to in Omaha. Maybe you guys are familiar with it. It's a place called the Alpine Inn. It's a place you go there and their specialty is fried chicken.
I think it's closed now, actually.
Oh, so you're familiar with it though?
Yep.
Okay, so you get fried chicken, and there's a glass. It's a glass wall, and there's a door that says "Do not open." I'm like, well, what's with the door? And it turns out they take all the scraps that people don't eat. They open the door and they throw it outside, and all these raccoons come out and eat it. It's kind of like a fork thing. And I was like, whoa, this is awesome. So all these rabid raccoons outside the restaurant eating scraps with fried chicken.
That's a Midwestern thing. We all do that.
Yeah.
See,
I mean, there's nothing more entertaining than trash pandas. So what do you do?
Yes, that's exactly it. So next time we come back, we're going to the Alpine, and if they, well, I guess they might be closed, but
I'm
I
looking.
mean, it's
they might
Nebraska.
still be.
Come because we won't kill you. Stay because you can have your own raccoon.
Yeah.
But
Or
it's
pack
not.
of them. Ming,
it's not-
you could
it's
lead
not
your
for
own
everyone.
pack of raccoons.
yes.
No, they are still open. They're open until 1 a.m. You must be able to take takeout right now. It's actually up in, it's Calhoun Road, so it's up north.
Yeah.
Cool.
Is the chicken good?
It's actually really good. It's
Ooh.
trash pandas. It's good
It's-
enough for me.
It's panda licking good.
And they're looking good.
Yeah.
So, actually, speaking of the weirdness of the whole pandemic, Charles brought up a good point about one of your episodes of Comic Book Men.
Yeah,
and
we were
this
just
pandemic.
watching the Stash Apocalypse.
Ah, yes.
Where you guys tried to do the apocalyptic preparations.
Yeah.
We were wondering if there was something, maybe in the background, something you actually have learned that has come in handy. Or has this been so wildly, because I know for me, this has been so widely out of the ordinary that I don't think any survival skill I've gotten from anything like a comic book has come in handy.
Have you used the poop bucket yet? That's what we all want to know.
Once is
No,
a
the
strong word.
plumbing is still going on in Jersey. Thank you. And Charles, I'm going to start calling you Terrible Turpin. Is that okay?
Yeah, I like that.
All right.
We may have to change the website for you, Charles.
Yeah, I think
I'm
we
on
have
it.
to now. Yeah,
Or Turpin the Terrible.
terrible Turpin.
Terrible Turpin
I like it.
from Superman. Yeah, he's awesome. So
I like that.
Yeah, that was a fun episode. The guy who directed our episode is kind of a survivalist. I think he's working on a book right now. And then Mike is probably one of the more prepared people that I know. When all this was going down, I guess we got locked down in March. Mike you've been preparing since January?
December, but yeah. Yeah, it was you hear rumblings.
Sure.
And they're like, hey, pandemic. And my wife and I were talking about it, and having 3 months of food stored up is a smart thing.
Yeah.
It is.
Especially if it's got a 25-year shelf life. So,
Yeah.
in my old age, I can go down if nothing else.
So are you saying you have a table made of those macaroni and cheese buckets or whatever that was produced?
No, it's more of a coffin for
Oh.
So,
Well then.
you gotta think about stuff. Jenny, you understand. You gotta think ahead.
I mean,
Yeah.
Have you actually had to dig into the 25-year proof food yet?
No, because we outfitted my
Okay.
my garage with some serious level shelving units, and we're prepared. We've got a lot of canned goods. We've got water filters. We've got whatever we need.
Do you have toilet paper? That's what I want to know.
Oh, hell yeah! That's the first thing I stockpiled. Because I don't want to.
That's why we don't have any.
Because Mike took it all.
Better check the expiration date on that toilet paper.
I wish we could find is that the episode we actually shot a whole lot more that never got aired. We did a whole thing where we slept on the Funko Pop shelves in the basement. We could last,
Yeah.
and
That would've been awesome.
yeah, we did a whole thing. And I think I got in a hazmat suit and went up to go look for comics. Yeah, and I
I
guess,
would have liked to have seen more footage of the guy that ran the survivalist store because he seemed kind of creepy.
it was crazy.
He was a nice guy, but he took that very seriously.
Yeah, I'm sure he didn't
I
seem
mean,
to have
they
much
can
of a
be
sense of
nice
humor.
guys, but he's going to be the alpha in that
I
apocalypse
like that.
situation.
Somebody, I haven't seen the. In a while, one of our crew members sent this to me.
Oh my God!
One gas mask, that suit, and axe, and there's a graded comic in the other hand. So it's
Actually, I have a suit like that in my trunk. I like to pull it out and scare convenience store workers. So yeah.
Man, just thinking about it though, if there's been a lot of talk of if you had to shelter in place with one person, who would you choose? But I mean, if I had to choose a place to shelter in place for 3 months, I think I might have to choose Kevin Smith's comic book shop.
We don't have much in the way of food, but I mean, you'll be entertained for for the 72 days that you can exist without food.
The thing is, I feel like food is still a pretty easy point in the world. It's not losing your shit.
right.
That's like the point. Like the insane surreal environment they're on, and you're alone, you're in a room, you're like, how long has it been since I've seen or hugged another person?
Right.
80 years. It's been about.
It feels like that when you're Latino and you need to do the hug and you're like,
Understand completely.
I miss petting people. It's not good.
March and April have been the longest 10 years of my life.
And John, can I just say, keep that thing in the trunk of your car, but next time you're out at the, I don't know, whatever Ace Hardware you've got in town, get a can of glow in the dark spray paint and just spray that thing, and then freak the people out.
It's done.
no.
Consider it done, sir.
Um,
Literally, I mean, I can buy more of these. It's like the cheapest cosplay I've ever made. The whole pullover is like $11. It's like,
There you go. Just walk in.
yeah. Oh yeah, just go in. It's like containment breach and watch everyone run out of the convenience store.
Exactly. And, the till is yours because that's finders keepers.
I mean, I'll take a couple hot dogs, from the roller, but I don't think I'll take their money.
Then you will be radioactive because those things have been there for years.
Yeah, those come pre-laced with COVID now, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, if not then the buns that they have stuffed in the plastic bags. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But I gotta say, I love your show. You guys are the spirit animal I never knew I needed. But I'd like to ask your impression of season 2, episode 2, My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Oh, my big fat geek wedding. That's been a dream of Walt's forever. And now nothing was staged, but having Rob Bruce as the arbiter of who wins and who loses, he knew which side his bread was buttered on.
I felt it was arbitrary. I felt like it was totally a personal choice. It's like I felt you guys did enough to be in the running. So it's like
but this has been something that Walt has wanted forever. And
so he wanted you to.
Yes.
Okay.
Specific.
Only because he knew you would do it better.
Than him and Brian? Absolutely. Although Walt would have made a good Reed Richards, but Brian would have sucked as Sue.
That was an awesome picture.
Look at the hatred on my face.
Look how mad Mike is. He's so mad. I'm just all right. Let's just get this over.
I wish I could pull off that lipstick like you do, Ming.
There's a lot of anger and a lot of shame in that picture.
Ming was shamed. I was angry. I was too angry to be ashamed.
Beautiful, right? That is beautiful.
And the horrible thing about that,
I'd hit it.
The horrible thing about that episode is the guys who were our producers on season 2, and I've said this, Brian says it a lot more vehemently and with greater amounts of curse words. Those guys sucked. They wanted to turn, ironically, they wanted to turn everybody against everybody. They wanted it to be a competition.
That's not good.
No, it's not. But ironically, because they pulled the yoke so hard on us, we did some of our best work in that season. Some of the funniest episodes are from season 2. They didn't even know that they were doing that. So, but they wanted us to do the wedding right after we had done the competition. They didn't have costumes for us.
Oh.
We had to put those together ourselves.
Well, you did a damn good job.
It was they had to blur out the 4 because
it's like throwing someone a shovel and saying dig your own grave, man.
Pretty much.
That's some harsh stuff there.
Oh, tell them where your blue wetsuit came from, though.
It was Rob Bruce's, and I didn't find out, and I had to wear like 4 pairs of underwear so my junk wouldn't get tainted. I know.
Yes.
We don't know where that thing came from, the flea market, or I don't know, from Jacques Cousteau's, like
a corpse. Floating corpse somewhere. Rob's got his fingers everywhere, so
it was fetid, so to say. Yes. So you guys also did an episode with a paranormal investigator.
Yes, we did. We investigated the stash basement, which I think that building was built almost in the 1900s.
1894, 1895. So it's the 1800s, so it's a turn of the century, baby. And again, ironically, there's that was season 2, and there's more footage that we filmed.
Yeah. So the original idea for that was we're gonna go investigate the basement, and and it's very creepy down there. It's old, it's damp, it's musty. There's probably are ghosts down there. But we had come up with this idea. It was kind of like, it was half like, can we do this? And half kind of messing with these producers that we didn't really like.
I love it.
Where Walt would recall this story about one day going into the basement and getting scared because he saw a midget / troll down there, and
He was foaming at the mouth. And
Foaming-
it was like in a toga.
and he's not making any sense.
What?
And the real story was,
Did you tell him to stop being a selfish bastard and share the good drugs with you?
well,
No.
and it would turn out the real story was I got kicked out of my house, and so I had to go spend the night in the stash basement, and the troll was actually me in a towel brushing my teeth.
And he actually hired
We
a
hired-
little person,
Yeah, we hired a little person to
wear a toga, and he had foam all over his mouth. We were going to film it like a dream sequence. And, I mean, it's very sitcom-y. We thought it was like hysterical.
Yeah, we were like, oh my god, they're gonna go for this. So we're down there, we're about to shoot this thing. We had got a fog machine down in the basement. Fired up the fog. It sets off the fire alarm. I'm sitting down with no shirt on. They told me not to move. So I'm like, okay, fire alarm's going off. All of a sudden, the fire marshal and 3 firefighters come down. They round the corner. They put me in a towel with no shirt, and I'm like, "Hey guys, what's up? The fire alarm's off." So they're like, "What the hell is going on?"
Oh no!
Yeah.
That it never made the episode, and I want to know where that footage is because I thought that would have been awesome.
That'd
That
be
would-
priceless.
Oh my
Anyway,
God.
you guys could like publish some of this unseen footage. I think the geek community would appreciate
No,
all this stuff.
It's on a hard drive somewhere, not which I don't have, but it's somewhere. We could probably get it somehow.
We would love to do this. Kevin's been talking about doing this as like, added features because there's so much stuff that wasn't allowed to be aired.
Yeah.
Like the
Because they don't know how to
I
have
bet-
fun.
Well, I bet that some of it's like legally not allowed to be aired. It's like
no,
I'd
it's
love to.
AMC's and standards and practices.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
I know. There was Brian had a joke when we did the comedy contest
The
with
stand-
Brian Quinn, the stand-up.
Hmm.
And I think that one was called Stand-Up Comic Book Men.
I think I think
did-
you have an option for a good show here. Comic book men behind the scenes
That's
footage.
we wanted to do that. And Brian told sort of an off-color joke. Ming, tell him the joke.
I think the joke went, what is the difference between Ming's parents and Superman? And the punchline is Superman is grateful for a yellow sun.
Oh.
I think it's funny, but they didn't want the Anti-Asian Defamation League against them.
I feel that there's a sad rim shot there somewhere that we all missed.
Sunday Jeff didn't miss it.
Hey, what's the strangest thing that anybody has ever brought into the comic store to get you guys to buy?
I've had a couple. Somebody brought in a Barbie doll of the Halle Berry Catwoman. They made a Barbie out of that one, a Barbie doll.
They made it.
Yeah, I think the dude wanted like $20. I'm like, dude, I'll give you. I think I paid what 12 or something for it.
No, I gave him 5. I gave it to you.
Thanks, Mike.
I'm like, you like Halle Berry Catwoman? I mean, Halle Berry, absolutely. Catwoman, no. But I'll give you $5 for it. Guy's like, all right.
It was a bit of a spit in the face since the original Catwoman in the comic book and, Adam West was African American. It
Yes.
would have been sweet. I mean, I see what they were trying to do. They were trying to do the throwback, but just the horrible failure.
See, what I want to know is what is the most dangerous thing anyone's ever tried to sell you guys?
Danger.
Oh, actually, somebody sold us Wolverine claws.
Yeah.
You could put on your hand, and we actually bought it.
Oh,
Yeah,
And
that
they
was
were actually
pretty cool.
sharp blades?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it was
Wow.
great.
Yeah, those sold quick. I wanted them, but I was like, these are dangerous.
Not only that, but how do you justify like $100 for a pair of Wolverine claws that you're never going to use?
But we all
we're
think we
hopefully
want.
not going to use.
We all think we want these great sci-fi weapons, but I would cut my leg off with a lightsaber within 15 minutes of owning one. It's
Yeah.
like,
Just trying to spin it, absolutely.
yeah. Oh yeah, I'd be doing it, and like, zoom, and it's like
It'd
all
be-
of a sudden.
It'd be
At
a
least
clean
it's
cut, though.
cauterized.
Yeah, it'd be a clean cut.
So please send me my handicap parking sticker because I decided to buy a lightsaber. It should come with a handicap parking sticker in the box.
And you should get tax dollars off for your business because they're helping the mentally handicapped. So
Well, there's a
Yeah.
company actually a company that's making lightsabers right now that are as close to real lightsabers as you can get. You need
Those are just insanely dangerous. I mean,
yes, you you are required to wear like a full body suit to protect against the heat
yeah,
and
like a
eye
welding mask.
protection because they're just basically superheated.
Yeah, plasma.
Well, it's
arc-
got like
arc-
that.
Yeah,
It's got like a power cord the size of my calf, I think, that feeds it.
yeah.
I went to
Seth is one of your oldest friends. If you love me, you will give this to me.
How would you guys feel if someone came into your store and tried to sell you, what is that?
An ovipositor.
Not an over. No, but I knew you were going to do that. I knew
Oh.
Damn it, Bill!
We talked about this, Bill. Nobody wants your ovipositor.
A Tesla coil.
Oh.
The Tesla coil is very high voltage.
Okay.
It has a label on the side of the box that says, "Yeah, don't be within 10 feet of it when it's on,"
Okay.
and it has a cord that's 4 feet long.
Oh.
What the hell, John?
That's what an extension cord's for, buddy.
Exactly.
And I in a heartbeat.
Yep.
Then you just justified Bill's existence.
Yeah, something you guys should know is that Bill is our resident mad scientist. No joking.
No, the shit he can make or bypass or whatever, you know,
Acquire.
there's things that we have to ask Bill before you talk about this on the podcast. Are you going to
we've
have some
redacted-
legal liability?
The content we've redacted from Bill admitting to federal crimes is
I almost burned down my office
Alarming.
one time. I have this. It's shit. What's it called? It's an audio arc. And so what you do is you hook a sound source into it, and then it's got like a plexiglass chamber, and then on either side of the plexiglass chamber there's two electrodes. And when you fire it up, this arc of plasma jumps between the electrodes, and then whatever sound source you put in causes that arc to vibrate and reproduce the music as if it were a speaker. And
So,
I was,
Linda, you're all right with this.
we've been trying.
No,
we've been
we have a
every
whole-
week.
I watched it.
Every
have a
week
whole
we ask
podcast.
Linda, "Are you okay? Are you doing all right this week?"
We have a whole podcast where Bill tells you how to hack the droids in the Star Wars
Disneyland.
part of
Yes.
Disneyland.
Oh.
No, he's
Because-
one lab accident away from being a supervillain. He really is. It's like he's going to kill us all. Just
Yeah.
one tragedy,
So
one sad backstory, and he's going to kill us all.
I
I'm
took
counting
that.
another 6 tragedies on top of that.
Yeah, I took that audio arc to work to demo it, and
As one does.
in the process of
As
demoing it,
one
I had
does.
it on this cart, and it was kind of the music was causing it to vibrate a little bit on the legs and move towards the edge of the cart. So I thought I better move this back towards the center. So I reached over to grab it like this, and what I did is I created a shorter path between the two electrodes with my hands. And as I picked it up, suddenly it started burning my fingers, and I went like this, and it fell onto the cart sideways, and flames started shooting out the end of it. And my boss is sitting there with his face in a horror look, like, what the hell?
So plasma burns your fingers.
Yeah.
You
Fortunately,
learned
I had the
this, yes.
plexiglass, to keep me from getting third-degree burns, but it got hot real quick.
And
I'm
that
so
was
glad
the
that we
last
get to-
time show and tell was allowed at Bill's work.
That's Bill's job.
Oh, no!
Basically,
Oh no!
yes.
This is the first. This is a brand new story, and we've heard many more.
Yeah.
No, so
We never heard this one.
So
Yeah.
one of Bill's former partner in crime at his job, Keith, came and started actually by coincidence working with my boyfriend who's building a data center for Facebook here in Omaha. And he's telling us stories about Bill, how Bill convinced his kids that there were UFOs. And by like taking them out and seeing lights and shit. Like, I'm
Yeah,
like,
there was this-
what?
There was
Bill
this
is
golf.
that Oh my God. Go ahead.
There was
Bill.
a Champions Club did an annual golf classic that was actually on the PGA network, and it was a huge thing. And they had for the last night they had these huge searchlights going in the sky, and then they would do fireworks later. Well, we saw this. We could see the searchlights from Keith's house, and so we were outside, and the kids were like, "What's that?" And I said, "I think that's alien UFOs." What? I said, "Yeah, we should go." They were terrified to go.
Of course, they're a perfect age to be. They're so susceptible.
Yeah, they were like 5 to 12, perfect age. So
Okay.
yeah, we had them
Losing
sold
you.
on it. They were terrified.
I mean, what we're really saying here is, would you like to hire Bill because he's too dangerous for Nebraska and we need to get him away?
We have nuclear power plants here, and I don't trust you around them.
Yeah, you wouldn't want me
That's a
around
good
those.
Well, honestly, he can hijack them from his basement,
Yeah.
so it really doesn't matter where he's at. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Bill, without guys like you, things like proton packs don't get invented. So
That's right. See, there you are.
You know, I was thinking about proton packs, and they're the awesomest invention for the 80s. But if you had them now, if you fired off a proton pack, you would literally scramble every computer within a mile radius. They'd be awful. It's like, I'm sorry. Hey, I geek out on Ghostbuster stuff.
No, that's fine.
Yeah,
So wait.
you would
Yeah,
be-
actually, John is our resident paranormal investigator.
Well, you've done some work too, haven't you?
I mean, in terms of, I've had weird shit happen. Yes, that.
Well,
made
that's
me
what.
traumatizing.
That's cool, because that's what paranormal what I call as a paranormal investigator, I call you people a salt lick. Literally, I'll put my equipment around you and wait for them to come play with you. So it's
Which
like-
they do, but I don't want to talk about it because, having shit thrown at you from the middle of nowhere, never a cool thing.
see, but
Yeah,
to me that would be awesome. So take one for the team and just get hit in the face a few times with stuff. It's like,
Jenna, I think that John would consider you to be bait.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
It is.
Why
That-
salt lick and why not bait?
I
Because
need an adult.
salt lick sounds much better.
No,
does.
it
It's-
doesn't.
But it's
No,
the
really
same
doesn't.
thing.
I keep
No.
It sounds
salt
like
lick,
a porn
salt
term
lick,
that I'm unfamiliar
bait,
with.
sacrifice. all
I
the
agree
same
with
thing.
Mike. Bait sounds way better than
Yeah.
salt lick.
Well,
Salt
all right,
lick
how
is how
about-
you get slimed.
How about sacrifice? It's like sacrifice, same thing.
Still better than salt lick for some
Yeah.
reason.
But not better than bait. Yeah,
we-
sacrifices.
We can
No.
honor Jenna for her sacrifice. It's hard to honor her for her baitness.
my sacrifice full of trauma and nightmares for the next decade. Sure, yeah, great.
Well, John, it just sounds like you're not quick on the draw.
Well, no,
'Cause you wouldn't have to sacrifice if
oh,
you're.
I wouldn't be sacrificing. Jenna would for science. Science.
For science, I
Oh, for
mean,
science.
Well, now,
Pseudo
here's a good
science.
question,
That's nice.
Mike and Ming. Do you two believe in ghosts?
Oh hell yeah!
I believe. I believe there's a spiritual world. I believe there are physical manifestations of the physical world. I haven't seen any myself, I don't think, but I believe they're out there for sure.
I have seen. I've experienced weird stuff. Jenna, I'm like you. Weird stuff just happens to me. So
You guys took Mr. Chen out into the Jersey woods to go looking for Mothman, didn't you?
The Jersey Devil.
the Jersey.
yeah, the Jersey Devil. I feel like that's worse than the Mothman. The Mothman's just gonna give you warnings. The Jersey Devil may rip out your intestines.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
Intestines are optional.
Actually, do I still have? Hold on, I want to see if I still have that picture.
What, of him screaming?
But wait,
It's like-
you did use Ming as bait
as
/
bait, as
sacrifice?
a
As
salt lick.
Oh my
He
God,
was your
we never
salt
called
lick.
him a
for
salt lick. We called him
Yeah.
bait.
See, bait is better. Bait
You
is
treated
better.
him more like a sacrifice. Like you would have told nice stories about him after he was gone. Because he got eaten
We
by
never. You take that back, John. We never would have said nice things about me.
Okay, my bad. My
I'll say
bad.
the nice things. He was an incredible
You know-
hugger. We'll
There
keep
you
him.
go.
After watching the show, Mr. Ming, there,
Yeah.
it seems to me like they treated you like some kind of chew toy. They were rough on you all the time.
I've been chewed on and spit out for the last 23 years, my friend. So much like a well-made chew toy, it lasts a long time. So yeah, I'm that chew toy that's been chewed up a lot, but it's still around after 20 years.
You're like
But
the
here's the
Timex of
thing.
chew toys.
Exactly.
If you're living the dream, being around comic books, meeting your heroes like Stan Lee,
Yes. Yeah.
I would take that over the office job I currently have for the railroad. So
What was it like to meet Stanley anyway?
Oh my God.
Pretty
What?
magical. It was pretty magical. I think prior to that, we'd seen Stan in a couple commercials. You'd see him pop up every so often.
Mhm.
And, I think he'd just started doing a couple cameos, but we knew him as Stan Lee, the guy who created everything near and dear to anything that we cared about in this world.
Right?
And,
Mhm.
to me, it was like meeting God. It was.
Now, how do you end up coming to be on the show?
Him and Kevin are very close ever since they met on
Yeah.
Mall. And
Okay.
Kevin, once we got a show about comic books
Mhm.
and got into an actual second season, well, that you get that second season, you got to hit that home run. You got to swing for the fences. And so Kevin
Sure.
made a call to Stan. He's like, "Hey, can you come down? We want to shoot with you, and we'll also do a charity photo shoot. That's
Yeah.
the whole title. And can you come down and meet the guys and come and inspire them, and just be Stan Lee on the show? That would give us
Sure.
a lot of credit too." And he didn't even hesitate. Anytime Kevin needed anything from Stan, he obliged. And I always thought it was funny when Stan was kind of going through all that weird stuff a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
with people taking care of him or power of attorney and all that. Kevin was like, "Why don't you just come live at my house? Like, I'll
Yeah.
come live
I
with."
thought that was awesome.
I'm like, man, what a
Mhm.
great TV show that would have made.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then at least you knew he was not getting taken advantage of. Like seeing those articles at the end of his life, that was pretty tragic. Because I think for a lot of us, what he created made us feel normal in a world that would take the exceptional and say, "You're weird. You're
Yeah, like for me,
whatever."
Spider-Man was like Spider-Man kept me going when I was a kid. And I don't know, like that affected me probably way more than anything else.
Yeah, for me it was X-Men. Like,
But that too, man.
Yeah.
X-Men and Spider-Man. That was my teenage years when I really needed it the most.
What were your? Go ahead.
I don't know if Kevin was altogether honest. I remember Stan getting there and we introduced him. He comes in, and one of the first things he says is like, "Hey, where's Kevin? Kevin's not here." And Kevin wasn't there. I think Kevin may have said like he was going to be there.
Kind of misrepresented a little bit.
So he didn't seem to mind after a little while once he realized Kevin wasn't going to be there.
Yeah.
So it was really funny because obviously Stanley, he was so much fun and full of life, still a dirty old man a little bit. My friends joked with me because that year he was at Planet Comic-Con, I had a lot of friends who ended up getting their pictures with Stan. And I wore a cute little like pinup dress, and I like walking up to Stan, he just was like, and I was like, "Stan, oh my God, my life," because I used to draw comics and do all that stuff, and had my picture, and all my friends was like, "Wow, he actually seems to really smile for you in your picture." I'm like, I don't care if he was staring at my gams, whatever, it's great.
Stan loved the ladies for sure.
He did.
Yeah, that's why-
But he was respectful and in the classic I love the ladies kind of way.
yes.
I mean, it was great. Like, he just, so much love he had for his fans and his art. Like, what he left us for that passion of storytelling, I mean, I don't think we have fully expanded upon his contribution yet. Like, I think it'll be another 10 years before we actually get to what he did for us in terms of storytelling and character and art.
I love that he's smiling in your photos. Anytime he was with me and Mike, the look on his face like, "What, you guys again?"
You guys, your gams suck.
All those gams, get out of here,
You
kids.
should have wore the stilettos.
Hey, I'm sure you guys have had somebody come into the store that knows nothing about comic books, and they walk in just to see what it's all about. And if you were
absolutely.
going to get somebody interested in comics, what comic would you have them start with?
Spoiler alert,
Depends
this is
on
Bill.
Depends on how old they are. Give me an age range.
Bill's age.
60.
All right.
60.
Yeah. Let's say they're my age.
All right. Let me see. Well, I'd point them to Preacher, number one,
Okay.
just because Tulip had a great set of gams. And it's a complete story. You've got the 6 volumes, and it's just so far out there. I think that would be the best place for like someone between the age of 30 and death. That's where I would go with that. I would.
That reminds me. We wanted to ask you guys, what is your opinion of The Boys? Both the graphic novel and the new Amazon series. Have you seen either of those?
I have. I've read and I've seen. The book, the comic was okay. It's one of those ones where, unfortunately, you always paint yourself into a corner, like The Authority did, where you try to take a group of superheroes and have them solve the world's problems.
Yeah.
You're always going to run out of stuff because you can't get too real. So they painted themselves into a corner. However, the TV show is phenomenal. Although I'll say Jack Quaid, he looks like Dennis and Meg Ryan.
I know, right? I was just like, when I realized that was their son, I was like, oh my God. And then also he was born 92 and I feel so old. And I'm like,
I know,
oh God.
you threw up in your mouth a little bit,
A
didn't
little
you?
bit.
So, yeah, I was like, he took me out of it for a little bit because I know what baby Huey is supposed to be like.
Mm-hmm.
Or wee Huey, wee Huey. But I think it translated better into a movie/TV show than it did on paper, which is weird.
I think I'd agree with you there. Like, I've read the first 3 omnibuses of the comic, and I really take to the TV series, more than I do the comic.
The actors were just really good. Like, they did a good job casting, and I feel like they came at a really good time where people are interested in superheroes, but people are also asking a lot of deep questions about society around them as a whole. Like the whole hypocrisy of that Christian festival.
Yeah.
That this guy is trying to lead them, but he's also blowing dudes in a club at the back with other superheroes. So
yeah, a little exactly. I think you're right that they not just exposed, but like rubbed your nose in that hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people came up to me and were like, "Don't you think that was like so politically motivated?" I'm like, "No, it's just the way it is."
Speaking of which, what do you think that The Boys is the way that superheroes would really manifest if they actually existed?
Good.
Because the idea of Spidey being like broke all the time and saving everybody. Personally, I might take a few 20s from the till every once in a while if I'm going to go around saving everybody. So it seems more realistic that superheroes would be selfish.
Or would you just open a GoFundMe?
Why?
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Every register in the world is this GoFundMe. It's like literally. It's like, hey, I just saved your store. Maybe a little something.
No. Spider-Man should have a Patreon. I like that, Bill.
Right.
What do you guys
Very
think?
cool. But how would he access it?
Yeah, exactly.
Not on its offshore bank account, to have it deposited in. Yeah, it's like there are ways around it.
Sure.
Well, Ming, I don't think so.
Do we want superheroes engaging in like offshore banking? I mean,
Tony
if they're going to
Stark
be saving
really
the world,
does.
you got to give them a little bit of leeway, right?
you'd think, but but as far as being selfish, because the boys are the superheroes are really, really selfish, and it's like I feel that that's how they would be because there'd be no one that could tell them, this is not the way to be. So that's me. What do you think?
I think there'd be a larger percentage of people with superpowers taking advantage of of that. Who's gonna miss a couple gold bars from Fort Knox? Yeah.
I think it would depend upon when they came into their superpowers. If they came into them at a real young age, it would be easy for them to go down the wrong path because there'd be nobody that could really enforce them, their behavior, right? Whereas if you came into it when you'd already solidified your morals and your outlook on life, you might have a different
shitty situations so that you develop empathy for the normal human being.
Yeah. I mean, I think of that kid. What was that Twilight Zone episode where that
the kid that can literally just make everything disappear?
Yeah.
Life.
Everyone was afraid of him.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you came into your powers like that as a young kid like that, and you could do almost anything, there'd be nobody that could challenge you, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe you just feel entitled to do whatever you wanted to do.
Superman did that, and he turned out to be the Man of Steel. But is Brightburn actually more of a realistic representation of what Superman would be? It's like
if Clark Kent wasn't a dick, yeah.
Well, no, but it's like, why wouldn't he be? Who could tell him what to do? It's like the whole idea of the Kents just saying you can't do that. It's like, when obviously I can do that. It's like, all right. Let's turn it this way. What would you do if you were born with Superman's powers?
All right, Ming, what would you do with Superman's powers?
The world, but I'd take a gold bar for myself here and there.
Mike?
If it's a large corporation like Ruth's Chris Steakhouse or Shake Shack, take extra burger or filet mignon. That obviously they don't care the other way. So, it would depend on who it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I might make some diamonds out of, some charcoal briquettes, but I don't think that I would go around robbing people. I like to think that, your moral compass is still your moral compass, whether you have superpowers or not. I would hope.
Right.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you need a 20. You save this business. Hey, maybe they owe me a 20.
Well, what do I need the 20 for?
I don't know. Why does anyone need 20s for anything? It's like,
well, why wouldn't I be like, hey,
it's not an existential 20. It says, you need a $20 bill. You just saved this place. Hey,
John is our doomsayer. So
I am.
Take it with a grain of salt.
I am the voice of doom.
John, I think that they would probably say, "Hey, listen, you saved our business. You want a little something." I'd be like, "You got a cup of coffee? I'll take a cup of coffee. That'd be nice."
This is where I think Stan Lee's legacy comes in, because all of us who were raised kind of with the
great
message
power
of
comes great responsibility.
Yeah, with Spider-Man and with X-Men.
Right.
And he taught some moral lessons, and I think
Aunt May needs an expensive surgery.
I think
Spider-Man gives of himself to give it to her.
Yeah.
What if he doesn't have it? Because he
literally made a deal with the devil to give her new life.
That's all right. So he sacrificed his soul.
Himself.
No, his marriage. He sacrificed his marriage. It wasn't a good story, but he did it.
And please, John, he salt licked his soul.
So
I'll give you a golf clap on that one.
All right.
So I know we're getting close to our time, but I do want to ask, because you're talking to so many podcasters, you're trying to help everybody out there to keep going, keep pushing, getting the word out. What are some? I mean, everyone's kind of wrapped up in the surreal moment of COVID and social distancing. What are people not talking about that the two of you wish were people should be talking about or engaging on?
Ming, you got an answer?
That's a great question. I don't know. I mean, I think we're talking about the state of kind of pop culture. Are we going to be able to go back to the theater again? Will comic book shops open again?
Comic-Cons. Comic-Con season is dead this year. That's what's tragic.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're all being optimistic about, what happens when we come back. But what if they don't come back?
Right.
I don't know if anyone's really touched around that scenario. Yeah. What if, what if they just don't come back? What if it's just not viable?
Because they're saying that the coronavirus could come back in the fall, and that people with the immunity may not last.
Yeah. I'm scared. What if comic shops all not, what if a majority are just done? What if everything we know and love doesn't come back? I'm a little. That's probably worst case scenario. I don't want to go.
Yeah.
But,
He's getting a little dark there.
I mean, you said people not talking about. I don't know if anyone's really brought up that scenario yet.
They have. But here's the thing. I think that people should be a little bit more positive. That's what I'd like to see. Is I want to hear what people's plans are. Once this does blow over, and God forbid it comes back in the fall, but we don't do this again where we shut down for a month, or maybe we do. I don't know. I don't think we can afford to.
I don't think we can.
But yeah, but we need to have that positive reinforcement. I think that's what's lacking in here. Everybody's just like, I'm going stir crazy. Well, are you using your time productively? You guys obviously are, with the exception of John, who really needs to learn the difference between sacrifice and salt licks.
That is the tip of the iceberg of the things I need to learn, sir.
Accurate.
I'll tell you that right now. I'll show you. Just like,
But
I'm just glad none of you are injecting Listerine or Lysol into your veins. So until then, I think we're good, right, Mike?
I am working on a system.
Bill.
I'm working on something.
Bill. No.
Oh dear.
lots to learn.
Linda, we're trusting you.
I couldn't find the Jersey Devil photo, so I'm just going to leave you guys with this.
Okay.
All right.
I love Elvira. I mean, it's bad to be so
That's
it's bad
awesome.
to be 6 or 7 and admire Elvira, but I did because 1, horror movies are amazing, and 2, for days she had huge tracts of land for days and was amazing.
All right. Well, as Jenna said, we're kind of running up on our time, but is there anything that you guys would like to plug before we sign off?
Mike's selling Secret Stash blind boxes for anybody out there.
Ooh.
Tell us about that. What is that?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are doing, we're going to be rolling them out tomorrow, Tuesday. Comic Book Men curated Secret Stash boxes where a comic book man, either me, Ming, Brian, or Walt, will pick out comic books that we think that people will like.
And how would we get these?
You would go to, it'll be up on jayandsilentbob.com, or you can email me at jayandbobstuff, that's JAYANDBOB stuff, STUFF, at gmail.com. And for $25, you get $40 worth of swag. For $50, you get $80 worth of swag. And for $100, you get $150 worth of swag. And we make a couple of promises. One, it will be curated by a comic book man. Which one? You never know. But it'll say, this box is curated by Brian. And it'll be full of old empty prescription bottles and beard hair. No, it'll be comics. Brian would probably pick out some Archies, Richie Rich, Caspers, some of the more nonsensical stuff. But it's also going to come with at least one signed piece of Kevin merchandise and an 8x10 signed by the 4 of us.
Oh, nice. Well, Bill, there's your entry in the comic books. There you go.
There you go.
And also, if you want to have as much fun as we just did, me and Mike will come on anybody's podcast. If you're out saving,
What a pitch.
if you're out in the bank or something, and you keep a couple 20s for yourself, bam, we'll come on your podcast.
And I can definitely say, and I think everyone will agree, it is well worth it, and it has been a fantastic time.
It has been.
Yeah, thank you guys very much.
Thank you for
Nice
coming.
meeting you in person.
Yeah,
Please let us know when you come to Omaha next. Like I said, I will be doing all the home cooking for you, and also harassing all of our craft at Ocon.
We
Yes.
maybe
And I expect a back-breaking hug.
All the back-breaking hugs.
Be careful what you wish for, my friend. She can break it back.
Awesome. I need an alignment. I'm there.
yeah, I am making a genuine effort to get back to Omaha. I was supposed to be at Planet Comic-Con this year before it got postponed.
Yeah.
So, but I have a good feeling we'll be seeing each other soon.
Yeah,
Excellent.
we'll be in Podcast Alley. Sorry,
Yeah.
Jenna. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
feel
No.
free to sit
Yeah.
down.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much. We
We
appreciate it.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you.
You guys are
Thank
great.
you.
See you again sometime, hopefully. Take care, and thank you all for joining us for another episode of Galactic Driftwood. I'm Bill.
I'm John
I'm Seth.
Charles.
and Jenna.
And
Yep,
Jenna.
totally Jenna. I was trying to give Linda the day.
And Linda,
God.
I'm last.
And
And
Ming and
our
Mike.
special-
You're our producer. You're usually never on the
I'm
show.
last.
And our special guests.
Never last.
And
Thanks
to
for
our
joining
special
us.
guests. Yep, Ming and Mike. And take care, y'all. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Galactic Driftwood Podcast. For more information and past episodes, please visit our website at galacticdriftwood.space or subscribe to us on YouTube. And now, please deactivate your cranial downlinks, collect your towels, and be sure to watch your step as you exit our gravity well.